What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition. High-intensity interval training or low-intensity, steady-state cardio for cutting. Now, we get this question all the time, and I think a lot of people like to choose one or the other, and that's cool because in today's society, with the internet being so internet-y, you have to belong to a team. Hey, I'm team low carb. Hey, I'm team vegan. Hey, I'm team keto. Hey, I'm a carnivore. Rah, eat meat. Like my ancestors, my brain goes really big. And so what happens is, even with cardiovascular activity, people wonder if I'm getting ready for a show or if I'm cutting, which is better, high intensity interval training or low intensity steady state? With that said, they both have their place. Let me explain where both of these work. High intensity interval training is great because it increases your EPOC, which is essentially your post-exercise caloric burn after you actually do the cardio. For as much as 39 hours, it's elevated. Now that also mimics a lot of the hormones that are released during weight training. So there's a lot of the hormones which you can argue because of that, you are gonna lose less muscle with high intensity interval training. Now, the thing also about high intensity interval training is it is straining on the central nervous system, meaning that it does add to your overall workload, and I don't believe it has much benefit in recovery. Meaning that if you have a gas tank and it's near full, right? Anything over that's gonna spill over, right? So you can't overdo it. Now, when you are doing high intensity interval training, you are essentially pushing towards that full. Now, when you recover, you're essentially letting the gas tank get a little more empty and empty and empty, so you can afford more gas to fill that up. Gas being a metaphor for workload, okay? So more workload equals basically more stress on the nervous system. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna reach a state of overtraining, but I'm gonna say you're gonna have decreases in strength. I'm gonna say you're gonna have decreases in cognitive function during the day. In fact, a great trainer, Eric Cressey, once said on his Twitter, a lot of athletes are a lot stronger than they really are. They just don't give themselves a chance to recover and realize that strength. Basically, they're always in a state of being overtrained, so to speak. Using overtraining as a word to basically say they're straining their nervous system and not allowing themselves to repair and recover for the next session. Let's go over low intensity steady state. Low intensity cardio in and of itself means you're basically not really moving much, whereas a walk would be low intensity, jogging would be medium intensity. And we'll go over why we don't even do medium intensity at all. In my opinion, you shouldn't, at least for physique and bodybuilding purposes. Low intensity, essentially what it does, it doesn't really do much for post-exercise caloric burn, or as we talked about before, the EPOC. What it does, the calories you burn there, you burn. It might increase your metabolic rate for about 2 hours post-exercise, but it's not really that great. It's not really anything to write home about. However, what it does, it increases your calories burned over just sitting around. Basically, that's your resting metabolic rate. So it increases that. So let's say if you're a man my size and you do 40 minutes of low intensity cardio, that might burn upwards of 400 to 500 calories. That means that that deficit throughout the day is increased, so I can either eat more food and lose the same amount of weight or eat the same amount of food as if I didn't do a cardio and lose more weight because I'm increasing that caloric deficit. And as we know, caloric deficit is the main variable in losing weight or losing fat. So here's what I usually recommend. Now, for me as a coach, my main interest is going to be weight training. Weight training is 100% my interest. Weight training is what's going to keep muscle. It's what's going to build muscle. It's what's going to burn fat. Basically, when you progressively overload or you overload the muscle, you prevent muscle loss. You also keep that tension on the muscle so you're not going to muscle waste. And same with the reason marathon runners and endurance athletes in general basically have really skinny, fat-looking bodies. They don't really build lean mass, whereas you look at sprinters and other strength athletes, they have big, powerful, lean muscles. It's because of the way they're essentially overloading and stressing those muscles and working those muscles. So what I like to do is I like my clients to train at least 4, usually 5 days a week. 5 days a week, think about it. What did we talk about earlier? The EPOC, or post-exercise caloric burn, from high intensity interval training and low intensity steady state, which is around 39 hours for HIIT training and around 2 hours for low intensity. Now look at it this way. Weight training, being that it does about the same thing as HIIT for EPOC or post-exercise calorie burn, will raise your metabolism by about 39 hours. 36, 39, semantics, potato, whatever you want to say. So look at it this way. If you're already weight training 5 days a week, you have the increased EPOC from the weight training, doing extra high intensity interval training, even on your 2 off days, I don't believe will lead to much EPOC above what you would already have from weight training. What I like to do for my clients is I like cardio, high intensity, for its ability to increase cardiovascular activity. For that, we have something called Tabata. Tabata is simply a form of high intensity interval training done for 4 minutes. We have 20-second workload and 10-second rest. 2 to 3 days a week on non-leg training days, because I don't want you to, do Tabata after squats. You might die. It's really bad. It's really painful after leg day. So what I like, and I have my clients train 2 to 3 days of leg day a week because legs are 50 to 60% of your total body mass. So it should at least take up 40% of your training volume. So what I like to do is I do Tabata 2 to 3 times a week, post-workout for 4 minutes. Why? It's only 4 minutes. And also, from a health standpoint, 4 minutes of Tabata is the cardio equivalent to, health equivalent to, 60 minutes of jogging. For the rest of it, if I need to create a caloric deficit, I throw in low intensity steady state. I normally don't go over 45 minutes a day, even in the darkest depths of prep. However, for some people, I do need to go for 1.5 to 2 hours so I don't have to bring their protein and fat below a level that's healthy, because those are the 2 essential nutrients, essential amino acids and essential fatty acids. Are you guys following me here? The reason I don't do medium intensity steady state would be like jogging. Jogging is a good example. I don't like jogging. It's above low intensity steady state, but under high intensity, where it doesn't have the performance enhancing benefits of high intensity, but it also doesn't have the recovery benefits. And I do believe, and so does Exos, which is where I have my mentorship from. I do believe that medium intensity will cut into your recovery, but it won't do enough to really increase your performance. That's why I either like high intensity or I like low intensity. However, HIIT as a way to do extra cardio throughout the day, I don't really use it. Unless I'm doing hill sprints or something like that just for fun. But if I have someone getting ready for a show, I'm generally going to have them do Tabata 2 to 3 times a week so they're healthy and they don't die, because I like doing that. But then I also want to do low intensity steady state for as much as it takes to create that caloric deficit so they can lose weight and, of course, get into that great shape. Now, for a lot of you cutting, for a lot of you just trying to get lean, you might not even need cardio. That's where I would suggest at least putting in Tabata 2 to 3 times a week just for overall health benefits. But if you're looking after physique altering things, if you're looking after increased body mass and decreased fat, I highly recommend weight training at least 4 days a week. Weight training elicits a lot of the same things that cardio does, but it also has this great ability to maintain muscle and build more muscle, which would burn more fat in the long term. So that's what I have to say. So the bottom line is, it's not about high intensity or low intensity. It's about how you can use it best to support your goals and your girls. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Put an article down below about high intensity interval training. Thank you for watching. Once again, I'm Marc Lobliner, and that's not a game.